Hey everybody, Dana Luke here. I just wanted to do a little introduction of what you're about to see, which is our sneak peek first unofficial Tea House event where we have invited Dana Berwin Tanco, and we kind of wanted to have him interact with our community. Berwin is a successful entrepreneur in and out. He's sold his first company at the young age of 22 when he was in the United States during the dot-com era. Now, because of some technical issues, we didn't get the beginning of this recording where we essentially just go over his introduction of who Berwin is, and straight away he's going to jump into what was his passion, his drive behind his entrepreneurial journey. This is the first and probably last time we're doing anything like this available to the public, as all of these events will be holders only right after our mint date. So I hope you enjoy this, and if you have any questions, the best advice I can give you is to join the Geisha Tea House and come ask these questions on stage, like some of our listeners have today, and we'll do so in all the other monthly events that we're gonna host. So once again, Dana Luke here. Thank you so much and enjoy.
Back then, the Philippines, we had a lot of political problems. We had a dictator. We were having a lot of social unrest and instability. So it was an opportunity for me to leave the country and look for greener pastures. So I moved to America when I was 13, went to boarding school, and then got a scholarship to go to university there. But in the middle of college, I kind of dropped out because it was the dot-com days, and there was it was like crypto and blockchain these days. It was booming everywhere. So I had this opportunity to create an algorithm to introduce debit card payment systems to Southeast Asian consumers so that they can purchase in Amazon and eBay and all of that. Because back in the days, you couldn't do that if you were in Southeast Asia. Not a lot of people had credit cards. So I created a virtual debit card system so that people can purchase it through the internet, B2C. And so that's what happened. And when I was 19, we started the company, and after 3 years, before I sold it, we actually listed in the stock market in the Nasdaq, and then I sold my shares, and I was just really shocked and amazed because I had literally nothing. I was $90,000 in credit card debt when I was 19, starting up this company, living in an apartment with 20 servers and I was just working 16 hours a day. And so what was going in my head, I was like, I'm gonna buy a boat and a Ferrari. that's
Love it.
I sold the company and moved to South America and then eventually to Spain and started I did buy the boat and the nice car, but I didn't really enjoy it so much, so I sold it and I started another company, and I went into real estate for the next 20 years. That's what I was doing.
Oh, wow. What? That is, I am myself 24 years old. I have a few businesses, but I can't imagine myself yet listing something in NASDAQ right now. And I mean, you're a whole another beast. Berwin, that is really inspiring. Really, really inspiring, and thanks for supporting the dropouts, myself being one.
Hey, you just have to have a dream.
Absolutely. So that brings us to one of the question from our members who asked you. His name is Cliffhanger, his Discord name. So we use the Discord name over here. Cliffhanger, right? As an entrepreneur, you have achieved success in several different spaces: resort, blockchain, software companies, just to name a few. With that in mind, what questions or mindset do you utilize when you approach your new business venture that allows you to keep achieving success? What I mean by I'm curious because it's such a versatile, businesses. Like you have a marina, which is a whole another beast, right? You have resorts, right? Myself, I'm managing one. It's a completely different thing, right? Then you have your blockchain. Then you had a software company. How do you analyze this? What's your mindset?
You just have to really observe the trend. Things change all the time. I basically travel all over the world and I just see opportunities. I like to travel and, find a place where I really like to live in. And I say, okay, what am I going to do here? I can't just sit here and enjoy the place. I need to do something. So I always look around, observe, and find out what are the opportunities, and what's missing, and what's the potential, what I can do. And so so it was in the 90s. It was software. In 2000s, I saw I really loved property development design, so I followed my passion as well, apart from looking at the out for opportunities. And then marina resort, because I live in Indonesia. There's 17,500 islands. There's no typhoons. It's the best place to open a marina. There's literally no marinas here, and the boating industry is really nascent. And they just actually abolished the luxury tax on luxury yacht imports. So that's another opportunity there. And then blockchain. Why blockchain? Last year there was COVID, so the whole world shut down, and I'm a property developer, and my hotels had to close because there were no tourists left in the island. So I saw there was an opportunity for me to pivot my business, because in real estate, it's one of the most illiquid assets in the world, and by tokenizing it and putting it in the blockchain, you create an opportunity to fractionalize property and free up some capital, and allow people to purchase properties at a fraction. So that's how Ekta started. It started with fractionalizing property, but then grew into other, there were other needs and other opportunities and other problems in Southeast Asia, like lack of access to capital. There's a lot of startups and entrepreneurs that need mentorship, need the blockchain to improve their lives. There's also problems with the environment, and there's a lot of ways that blockchain can solve that. So I saw the opportunity to get into that, and that's how Ekta was founded. It was founded during the pandemic.
Yeah, that's the pandemic has been one of the biggest opportunity taker and opportunity maker for sure. Myself, I had to pivot my own business and kind of adapt, and like we all did, I believe all the successful entrepreneurs were kind of able to pivot their self and adapt to the new so-called new world. Berwin, now we will get to Ekta. I'm really curious to know the future and some of the things that we've been through on Ekta. But before that, one of the things in the Geisha Tea House we like to do is talk about money, right? It's a really a kind of like a taboo topic. Like a lot of entrepreneurs don't talk about it. Like when they have a lot of money, they kind of withdraw themselves, all of that kind of stuff. Here we are trying to kind of make it a conversation about in terms of money. So that brings me to the next question: how you look at money after all these successes you have had, right? When you were starting out, like you said, you wanted a Ferrari and a boat, which later on, I'm sure for me also it has been the same experience. Like it starts with that need of survival, and then it kind of later on pivots. In my personal experience, what's your thought on money? How do you look at it, and how do you use it?
Yeah, for me, money, it's one word. It gives you choices. So one thing, you shouldn't be shy about talking about money. I think it's the impact. It's what you do with it. So I mean, when I was 22, I was foolish enough to spend it on wasteful things like a boat and a Ferrari. Nowadays, I'm 45 now. I actually have a car that I haven't changed for 9 years. I've been driving the same car for 9 years. It's really small and very simple. I walk around with my flip-flops. I don't wear a watch. I have nothing luxurious in my life. So I'm using it more nowadays for impact, for investing in things that make a change in the world. And that gets me going nowadays. I wake up in the morning inspired because I'm going to do something great, something good. I can help someone, can help the environment. So yeah, for me, it really boils down to choices that you do with it. And shouldn't be ashamed to talk about it.
Absolutely. Why after all the successes you have had, why do you wake up and You can like live anywhere in the world, do anything you want, but here you are every day. I know how much you work in the back end with Ekta, and everything else that you do, right? You're always making your moves. Why? And what gets you going? Like,
Uh, I want to stay young. I want to keep doing new things and learning new things. I kind of, actually 2 years ago, I was really, really bored with my life, and I was just doing the same thing over and over, going to my hotel, going to the private club to work out in the gym, waking up, going for dinner, waking up late in the morning. And really, I felt empty because I was just doing the same thing over and over. So I started, trying to, meet new people, learn new things, started studying about blockchain. And then I just saw that, I mean, there's the money aspect of it, but what I saw is the help and the change you can do and make with it. And I saw that you can improve people's lives through the blockchain and also help the environment. And me having two children that are still very young, one's 5 and one's 8, I want to leave. I want to leave something better, a better world for them, and also I want to make them proud that I did something and kind of leave a legacy to that. And it actually, I wake up in the morning really happy. I sleep really well at night. It's not always rosy in what I do. It's I go through a lot of crisis, and it's really there's a lot of change. There can be 3 changes in one day in the business, and you just have to adapt to the change, and it's really exciting. That's what gets me going.
love it, love it. I mean, I could understand myself. My baby girl is on the way. You know about that.
Yeah.
Living
Congratulations.
thank you, Berwin. You know, have like the idea of having enough for your generations to come, and it can be really motivating. How much does that play a factor in your life right now, like building a generational wealth?
It's quite important. I mean, I think about them all the time, and I think about everything I do. I think about, so like, for me, taking care of the environment is quite important. Also, living here in Southeast Asia, there's a lot of poverty around me, so it's quite important also to help other people. So our business is about that. That's why part of our blockchain, we have a wallet for a foundation as well, which helps people in the environment. And I want my kids to see that as well, so I can lead by example. So I want them to grow up that way as well.
Absolutely, that is a great way to look at things. And apart from all the crisis that we have going on in the world right now, environment is definitely the top of it for sure, and how important it is, and how we all should be doing our part on it. So kind of that, like we talked about your past, your mindsets and stuff, like how you kind of do what you do, what makes Berwin, right? Let's move on to Ekta. What's happening today? A lot of our audience don't know what Ekta is. So let's start over there. What is Ekta?
Ekta. Well, first of all, the meaning of Ekta is something really beautiful. It means individuality, integrity, and unity. And the reason why I call it Ekta is because I live here in Bali. I'm surrounded by people from all over the world, and I'd like to unite the world, and this movement where we have a problem and we solve it. So Ekta was actually born during the pandemic. So like I said, when the whole world shut down, my hotel shut down, my property development, construction shut down. So I started hanging out with like-minded people that were left in the island, that didn't go back to their countries. They decided to stay and in Bali, and I had a lot of meetups with them. We talked about how the blockchain can improve people's lives, and also I told them about the problems of my business, how illiquid property is, and they said, yeah, you should tokenize it, you should fractionalize property, and this will help you with your liquid assets. And then we started looking at what we have around Bali. There's a lot of nomads, digital nomads. There's a lot of entrepreneurs living here from all over the world, we said, and they have problems with access to capital, code, mentorship, channels and connections. So the blockchain can solve that as well. And then I look into more something deeper, like like a lot of companies here and employees. The employees, they don't have like a 401k, a retirement fund, and they don't have like pension, health insurance. So the blockchain can help with that as well through DeFi. And then and then with the environment, so I wanted to kind of like create an island chain and help connect islands with transportation and education and medicine. And so the blockchain can do that. And then with the environment as well, like for example, we have our new project in Ekta where we have tree NFTs. So when you purchase these trees, they're actually tied to physical world apart from the virtual world. So you actually you buy NFTs, you plant trees, you offset carbon, and then you end up owning land. And if you get a more expensive NFT, you can have a tree house as well in your land. So it's helping environment. And then also with the lockdown, there's a lot of gaming going on, play to earn. So Ekta also has gaming where we improve your lives, especially when you live in Southeast Asia. You're here in Bali, for example, and in Indonesia and the Philippines, the minimum wage is like $200 to $300 a month. By playing these games, you can earn around $500 to $1,000 a month. So that's quite impactful in their lives.
That is amazing, Berwin. I know much about quite a lot about Ekta, so I'll kind of get Lucas over here to ask you some questions because he doesn't know anything about it. So his questions will be much more appropriate in that term. So Lucas, you can take over the stage now.
All right, perfect. Berwin, thank you so much for coming on. Quite the pedigree for sure.
Thanks, Lucas.
Yeah, could you essentially, I know Ekta from read a little bit. I would like to kind of how would you define it as what was your kind of main inspiration behind moving into the blockchain? I mean, you've touched on this a little bit, but what was sort of what did you see in the technology that really kind of made you go in?
Yeah, so Ekta actually, so basically Ekta we are our own mainnet, so we have our own chain. It's called Ekta Chain, and it's based on Hyperledger Bisu. We have 16 nodes. We are relaunching our new mainnet literally on the same time you're minting on the 10th of January. And awesome. So this is basically our foundation for the whole ecosystem Ekta. So with our mainnet, it gives us freedom to do what we want instead of relying on other chains. So if we were built on BSC, we have to rely on CZ and the Binance network. If we're on Cardano, we have to rely on Charles Hoskinson. So I wanted that freedom, so I can do exactly what I want to do, and my vision can really come true. So our vision is to improve people's lives through the blockchain, and by doing that, we need a foundation, and the foundation is our mainnet. And so around the foundation is our ecosystem, and we're building frameworks around it. So after the mainnet is launched, we are inviting partners to build on our mainnet, and most of them, it's all about bridging physical world to blockchain. The reason why I'm doing that is because I realized that there's only 300 million to 400 million crypto holders in the world, but there's 8 billion people in the world. So I don't want to just do the same thing over and over, what everyone's doing, faster chain, more scalability, more secure, all of that. And you're just dealing with 300 million people. I want to make everyone understand about blockchain. And so by bridging physical world to blockchain and inviting partners from the physical world to build on top of our mainnet, I think this is something more dramatic. And so, we have a lot of partnerships coming in to start building. We have a lottery system from Europe that's building on the blockchain. And with this, they can access more people, and they have more freedom to improve people's lives, because the lottery, as well as there's a lot of foundation and charity work around it. We have an NFT marketplace launching, which is 100% owned by Ekta. So this NFT marketplace is all about bridging physical world to blockchain. So our first product launch is a partnership with the U.S. military veterans. They have this challenge coin, and we're building a digital version of it and selling it in our marketplace. So our marketplace is like a shopping mall, and they're one of the shops in there. And so inside our NFT marketplace will be our other project called Petals, which is a fractional property NFTs. We have a lot of fractional NFTs. We will also have another one called DDVC, Due Diligence VC, which is a fractional VC token in our marketplace. We will also have our own exchange, which is a hybrid DEX. The reason why it's a hybrid exchange is because there will have some physical world properties into it. Like you can use, apart from crypto, you can use your credit card as well. We will have our game world. Ekta Game World will be on top of that. So we will have a lot of mini play to earn games and a full on play to earn model on it. This also physical, improving people's lives, because a lot of people with lower incomes can play these games and earn a higher income. We have our Meta Trees project, which is a beautiful project where it involves selling NFTs, gamification of it, planting trees, offsetting carbon, and owning not only virtual land, but tied to physical assets, physical land. So most of the things you'll see in the Ekta ecosystem is actually bridging physical to blockchain. So there's actually an underlying asset to these digital assets you own, which means in case everything goes wrong, it will never go to zero because you have an asset backing it.
Right. I mean, this is the fractionalizing kind of aspect to NFTs is really, really interesting, and how you can tie it into an asset in the physical world is definitely a huge topic on its own. Now, Ekta, Regal touched on the market cap of $100 million, which is, a huge success in everybody's eyes for sure. But now that it's, all, Ekta is going on and you have this roadmap and a lot of these goals, what were some of the challenges behind the scenes that, you had to overcome as a founder, and how did you tackle it?
We had initially we had a lot of success. And then towards the 6th week of our launch, and our price went up a lot. Like it went up like 10x plus our staking. Some of our investors got 20x. The only problem is the biggest challenge we had is we had an internal attack. So this is a lesson to everyone actually, and this is really important. One of the rarest commodities in the world is actually not gold or diamond or oxygen. It's actually trust. And so I was very trustful with our team, and we had the founding team would share the same vision, and it just had to take one person that didn't have that vision, and his vision was to enrich himself. So he basically internally, we had the internal heist. He stole tokens from our smart contract and tanked our token price, and so I had to restart the whole smart contract. So we had to migrate our tokens from the old one to the new one. And, a lot of people were stressed. The people thought, Ekta, ran away, did a rug pull, but we didn't. So I went live in an AMA. I told them this is what happened. We had an internal heist, and it took us about 2 months to rebuild everything. And it was very, very hard for everyone, but and this happens, to the best of everyone.
Absolutely.
But
I mean, we're in the NFT space ourselves. We see, rug pulls happening left and right.
Yeah,
it's definitely Wild West.
Yeah,
not having a central body that regulates it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it happens, but it's what you do when something like that happens. So what I did is I pulled the team together. It was a very dramatic event. One of our founders was crying, like, our baby, what happened to our baby? I'm like, don't, there's no time to cry. this is what we need to do. We need to trace what happened, fix it, migrate to a new smart contract, and then rebuild a new mainnet. So, we lost 2 months, a bull cycle, and about $5 million from the heist. But I said, no one's going to lose money. All the investors need to gain confidence, and everyone needs to and also Ekta's business model and vision is so strong and so sound that this is just a little speed bump. So I said, let's rebuild. And so we relaunched our new smart contract and issued our new token, which is now listed again in SushiSwap about 10 days ago. And our new mainnet is launching in 5 days from now. And here we go again. Now our team's more solid. We trust everyone now. We actually developed a zero trust security system. So we have multiple signatories. No one, the development team and the tech team doesn't have access to the codes. It's between a few people that has multi signatures. We do proper audits, and we didn't let the tech team do the audit. We got a third party auditor this time. So we double, triple checked everything at this time. So yeah, it's a lesson learned that was very, very hard, but now that's over, that's in the past. The key is to keep moving forward and moving on. So this year, 2022 will be very exciting. We have a big roadmap ahead and a lot of work ahead. But
perfect.
Yeah.
I would just like to point to that. If anybody who's in the audience wants to see a bit more about the roadmap, I recommend you go to the Ekta.io website to read about a little bit more about the goals and the roadmap as well.
Yeah.
I have a question for
Luke.
Yeah.
Let me just interrupt. I just wanted a more of a psychological question from Berwin. Berwin, now that attack, I was there. I literally saw almost, quite a lot of money go down to nothing in matter of minutes when that heist happened. I was watching it live, and obviously myself, I called Alex, one of from your team, and he assured me everything is good. There was no, so I was kind of chilled about it, and I trusted you. The process had a massive confidence in you, or always had.
Thank you.
The what my after I was assured myself, my first thought itself was, what the fuck is going in Berwin's head right now? How is he handling this? Because people are going nuts on the crowd, it's a rock pool, a lot of backlash coming up, right? Plus your early investors must be calling you, a lot of pressure on your head, and you being the man behind it. How did you handle it? What was going on in your head?
Actually, it's really funny. When it happened, Sophia, my partner, was next to me. We were in the middle of the blockchain month in Dubai.
Yes.
I closed a really big deal with a company with 29 million users was gonna use Ekta for remittances. And then after 3 hours of meetings, I looked at my phone. There was about, I don't know, 10,000 messages, and the price was I don't know. I couldn't even recognize the price because it was so low. I just kept calm. I said, I think in my head immediately, I knew that something went wrong. And 3 weeks before the attack, I had a feeling that our old chief technology officer was up to something no good. So I already contracted a few new development teams and found a temporary CTO. And when it happened, I said, you know what? That asshole attacked us. And so I said, I know what to do. So I went immediately back to the apartment, and then I phoned Alex. And then our partner from Bahrain flew in that day. He's our chief strategy officer, and he's a tech guy as well. So we immediately called our security company in Australia, and we traced everything back into the smart contract. And there's only one person that accessed that smart contract. So yeah, I kept my cool. All my team members were freaking out. Everyone was phoning, and I just kept my cool. I said, don't worry, guys. I know how to fix this. So that's all I said. Don't worry, guys. I know how to fix this. You're not going to lose your money, but it's going to take some time. So everyone, just by saying that, I know how to fix this, you're not going to lose your money. It's just going to take some time. That calmed everyone down. So yeah, And then I just went from there, and then I pulled the team together because a lot of them were panicking. I said, "Hey guys, don't worry. Let's, we just need to do this. That guy's out now, so it's just us again, and we're solid, and we know what to do, and we share the same vision. So let's do it." And so we fixed it.
That's amazing.
It's amazing to see. It's amazing to see this resilience. That's for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And a lot of people don't know about this. Berwin has been in this situation before, because I called you later on and you told me briefly about how you have been in this situation, half your age, what you are right now. And did that help?
Actually, yeah. I remember. Yeah, I told you about that. I said, yeah, when I was like 20, before 22, before I sold my company, just before we listed, our servers all crashed. I had to rebuild everything again, and we had 6 million customers waiting, and it crashed. And I was like, oh damn. I guess I'm used to it being an athlete, so you're used to, you're used to pressure. So sometimes when I was sick or something went wrong, I still had to swim into my competition and try to do well. And that's you just used to it. I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as an entrepreneur, that's something you kind of expect. You have to expect. Like, nothing is 100%. There's always that 99. There's always that 1% of things going south, no matter how good it looks. And so that's amazing. Berwin, really inspiring. Luke, let's continue with your questions on Ekta.
Yeah. I just wanted to pick up a question from the audience. Somebody wants to ask, Viatar wants to ask about the partnership between Ekta and Unix Gaming.
Yeah, so Ekta, when Unix was starting, before they listed, they needed funding to get more scholars. So they needed to ramp up their scholars. So they needed some funding for breeding for their scholars and to prepare for their token listing. So Ekta was one of the early backers of Unix. We provided initial funding, and then more funding, and then even some lending to them so that they can get to where they are today. I really believe in helping people in the play to earn space, especially the scholars. Actually, it's just funny because most of them are from the Philippines as well, which is where I'm from. So I thought, wow, even easier for me to make a decision and to find all these Filipinos with no jobs or earning $200 a month, and then getting them a scholarship to play to earn. And
actually the biggest two markets for Axie are Indonesia and the Philippines, which was pretty surprising to me. But
so I support all the gaming guilds out there, definitely. It's not only Unix, YGG, the founder's a friend of mine. There's Good Guild Games. There's NFG Stevens, the founder. Yeah, I bought their NFTs. I try to support everyone. I'm gonna buy your NFTs as well, guys. I'm supporting you guys.
For you love it. How is it for you as a kind of new company, newcomer in the blockchain space to kind of make these partnerships happen? What was it like to enter the space? And
so for me, I found it quite simple because blockchain is blockchain. It's just a new technology. In the 90s there was Web 1.0, 2000 there's Web 2.0, now it's Web 3.0, but it's still the same process. It's business, and business is business, and there's always a problem and then a solution, and then the solution, the tech just improved a lot these days. The thing is with Ekta is we're more B2B. So what I do is I look for partnerships with companies with already a lot of consumers. So because it'll cost me a lot of money to onboard 60 million consumers all in one go in 1 year. So what I do is I try to find owners or CEOs of these companies that I feel that I can solve their problem, and then look at their consumer base and say, listen, this is what I can do for you. At the same time, your consumers will benefit from this, and then that's how I basically try to close a deal with them.
Perfect. That's amazing. All right. We can, just before we move on to the audience questions, what is your personal like, what is your personal view on NFTs, and where do you think the space is headed? I mean, not just tying into Ekta, but like overall, what you see with the Bored Apes, what you see with the punks, and
what are you
think
gonna see with Geisha Tea House? What are you gonna see with Geisha Tea House?
I think NFTs is one of the most amazing things that ever happened to the world, because like it's so versatile. You can have it. It's first of all, it's a rare collectible. You can verify it. It gives you participation in a club, or it can actually make you, it's a kind of ownership. So it's so versatile. You can NFT a business and fractionalize the shares and sell them as fractional NFTs. You can NFT a property and fractionalize it and shares as fraction. You can have an NFT so that you can have a special access to a membership. You can NFT music, and then an artist can raise capital and fan base that way. And then the fans also get, share parts of the owners of the NFT can also be part of the company, also share profits and royalties and rewards from it. I really think it's amazing. I actually NFT. I call NFT everyone calls it a non-fungible token. One thing great about NFT as well, it makes I call it never forget things, because once you have an NFT, you will never forget it. It's there forever. So yeah, I think it's great. I love NFTs.
That's a great way to put it.
Do you own any of the blue chip ones, or are you not that big of a collector yourself?
I haven't collected any of the big ones. I'm actually very new within NFT. I'm more of buying NFTs from my friend, supporting my friends' NFT projects. So
like Geisha Tea House.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't have those blue chip ones. Unfortunately, I'm not that rich.
No, absolutely. No, we at Geisha Tea House, basically with our artwork community that we got going and the utility that we have, which we all are experiencing like right now. Basically, how people are getting access to people like you, which they don't actually, they don't get a chance to communicate with you, and you have a lot to offer. I'm sure a lot of people learned a lot from what you just shared about your past and your journey, and that's what we are trying to do in our own small way. Obviously, it's more as big as Ekta, like that massive roadmap. It's a guys, if you guys haven't checked out Ekta's roadmap, go and check it out. It is really detailed and quite intense. Berwin, you're in for a ride in 2022. We all are.
It will be, and I advise you all to buy Ekta right now, because in a year or two will probably be top 50 coins in the world.
There you go. You got insider information. There you go. Insider information coming up, guys. You don't get this everywhere. Love it. That's great. Okay, shall we move on to I see in the chats noted. Love it. Sweet. I guess now we can move on to, I guess we covered up the questions on Ekta. Just a quick one on Ekta. Berwin, I haven't seen myself personally fractionalize NFT and an NFT that relates with the real estate. Are you the first one that you are doing it, and how does it work? What are the benefits for the people?
So let's say fractionalized property. So we have a project called Petals coming up. We are basically we're building a property blockchain registry in Bali to test it. And in this property registry, the way to fractionalize a property is mainly leasehold property, not freehold property. So with leasehold, it's actually you don't have to go through the government registry. So we created our own registry. With this registry, we can fractionalize the property. So you can own fraction of the property, and then in return, you can get rewards through the rental income. But also the beautiful thing about these NFTs is you can stake them in our ecosystem, in our exchange, and then you can farm and earn rewards, not just from rental, but also from staking. another great way, another project we're doing is called DDVC, due diligence VC. So we're fractionalizing companies. So for example, Rigo, you have a company, let's say Geisha Tea Club wants to start a company, and you have 1,000 shares, and you want to raise, let's say, $1 million, and you want to give up 10% of that. So you give me 10% of the shares, and we fractionalize it into NFTs. So the VCs and the investors can purchase fractions of your shares, and with this, they will see their NFTs grow in value, and as the NFTs grow in value, so will the NFTs. We will trade the sizes of the NFTs as it grows in value. And the beautiful thing is with this is also you can swap them and trade them between people. So for example, in our exchange, I have, let's say, an AI company. You have Geisha Tea House, and let's say Mr. Joe has a burger joint, and we all have our fractional NFTs. Someone invested in it, and the investor wants to swap it or sell it. They can do that in our ecosystem. So it becomes more liquid as well. So typically when you come in as an investor in a startup, it'll take you 7 years to see your money back. But with an NFT, you can just trade it anytime. So it becomes more liquid.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now we do also have like a kind of a venture capital fund within Geisha Tea House. Now, Berwin, let's make a public question. Would you be open with partnership with Geisha Tea House, where we combine resources of Ekta and Geisha Tea House together?
Of course, I'm all about partnerships.
Love it, guys. Buy one, get another one free. That's what's happening over here.
Yeah, for sure. We can. We have a lot of offerings coming up soon as well, and I can always say we can always call each other up, message each other, see what's going on and what's new, and we can always trade ideas and trade NFTs.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a question over here. So what we bring, guys? Buy both, because both of them have different utility. It's just a combination that we are doing. So here you go. It's official, guys. So that's how it's we will be doing it. We have a question for you, Berwin. Do we need to swap USDT to ECTA, or can we swap other assets like direct WE to ECTA on Sushi Swap?
Yeah, you can swap USDT to ECTA. It's actually ECTA V2. There's if you go to our website, there's two addresses. You'd want to choose the one in BSC because it's cheaper to swap. So yeah, swap USDT to ECTA. At the moment, we can't swap with other tokens like ETH.
Sweet. All right, let's move on to the questions from the audience in our Discord, and we will go with it. And guys, you can ask your question. Just drop your question in the chat, and we'll answer that. And then or you can raise your hand towards the end if you want to have a chat with Berwin. That's one of the great utilities of Geisha Tea House. Okay, Luke, you want to take over the questions?
So I'll start with a question from Hanks, and these are three personal questions, and it starts with, why did you move to Bali? Why Bali?
I moved to Bali in 2009. I was living in Shanghai. So prior to Shanghai, I was living in Ibiza. So I was like an island boy, and I really enjoy living in islands. And then I don't know why I moved to the city. So I moved to Shanghai. I did really well there, but I worked so hard. I was working about 16 hours a day. And then the problem with Shanghai is there's no nature. So all I did was after work, I ended up in a bar or a nightclub, and I was doing that every day, and it's really, really unhealthy. And so it was burning me out, and I was feeling really tired. And I moved to Bali in 2009, and it was very beautiful here back then. It's still very beautiful, but it's more built up now. So I really enjoyed the nature, and I learned how to surf. So surfing was kind of like the pull. And also I saw the opportunity as well of purchasing land here and developing. So yeah, that's what lured me to Bali. Actually, the nature, the surf, and the opportunity to develop property.
Yeah. I also heard that China has a really kind of one of the worst work-life balances out there.
It's not very healthy, to tell you honestly. It was really attractive for me in 2004 when I moved there, because it was starting up and building. But towards the end of 2009, it was already very built up, and it was really, it drains your, there's no nature. That's the problem. Like, I want to go to the beach,
Yeah.
I can't. I want to, go to a park or up in the mountains. I have to drive 2 hours away, and yeah, and that was very tough for my health.
Understandable. Now, what is your go-to drink in the morning or during the daytime?
So every morning I have an acai bowl and green juice. And I do that every morning. I don't know why. It's just my habit, but yeah.
Do you
And
find do you find having these routines important in your life? Like,
yeah, my morning routine actually is my acai bowl and my green juice, and I go for a swim or the gym.
yeah, awesome. And another question following up to that is, what do you have any book recommendations?
I'm actually not a big book reader, but I do watch a lot of I read a lot from the internet. I research materials, and I watch a lot of like YouTube tutorials, and I'm more of like a 10, 15, 20-minute kind of like reading kind of guy, and I absorb information more that way.
Yeah, got it. And you talk a lot about environment as well, and how it's important to you. What is your stance on, where the environment stands right now? How are you taking your part in that, and how do you involve your companies in that initiative as well?
That's really important. I was actually in Scotland about 2.5 months ago for the COP26, and I met some people there that were doing carbon offsets. And I really noticed that a lot of the companies are still polluting and using carbon offsets just to greenwash, and it just gives them an excuse to pollute more and offset. So that's why I came up with this Meta Trees project, where I actually sell these tree NFTs, and it gives you privileged rights to help save the forest, and helps you. And with the profit that comes in from the sale, we actually plant trees, and we actually help the forest instead of sell carbon offsets and let these polluters pollute more. So for me, it's really important. Also, I'm a beach person, and I love to. I used to surf a lot. I don't surf so much nowadays because I'm so busy. But when you swim in the ocean and you have plastic, hitting your face, and you have like rubbish everywhere.
Big thing in Bali,
yeah. You really see the impact of it, and and I see that, and I don't want that. I don't want to swim around rubbish, and I don't want to be around polluted air. So it's really important for me to save the environment.
Awesome, perfect. And then last lighthearted question from the audience was, if you've tried Regal's chocolate, and what do you think about it?
I think it's one of the best chocolates I ever had in Bali. Top 5 in the world.
Thank you, Berwin. Thank you.
It's very, very good. It's a very good chocolate.
Very bullish.
It makes me very happy when I eat the chocolate. It makes me smile.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you, Berwin. I didn't realize that question was there. What? Okay. Sweet. That's amazing.
Well, we were all wondering anyway, so.
Love it.
And now turning back to a bit more business oriented questions. How and why did you start your business? Essentially, I'm assuming this is the first one. What kind of put you on this entrepreneurial path, and what were your early drives early on? Because you said you were born in the Philippines. You've pretty much lived everywhere from what you've said so far. So what was your kind of initial push?
I don't like working for other people. so it helps to be an entrepreneur. Like I tried working like as an intern in like a bank and stuff like that, and I'm not a corporate person, so I have to do something for myself. That's one. Number two is like I'm a problem solver, and I like to observe what's going around me. So I like to find a problem and then fix it. So for me, the way to do it is to be an entrepreneur.
Got it. Got it. Excellent. We have one more Ekta question, which is how will you incorporate gaming into Ekta blockchain or in the Ekta ecosystem?
Yeah, so our first few games will be like mini games that are Web 2 games downloadable from Google Play. We're gonna put since we have our own mainnet in 5 days, we're gonna create an APK and an API to attach them, and then you can start playing these games with Ekta tokens, and you can earn Ekta tokens as well by playing these mini games. And then the next ones will be the bigger ones like meta trees, where you buy the NFTs, and then there's like different tasks you do. It's like more like DeFi gaming. So you actually it's actually play to earn as well. And we will have metaverse as well later, and then it'll be bigger. The game. We are also investing in some MMORPG games, play to earn as well, which we will reveal towards the middle of this year.
How big is the team right now? Just
we are 35 in our team. Our head office is in Bali, but we have people all over the world, from US, Greece, UK, France, Singapore, Bahrain, China, Indonesia, Philippines.
That's amazing.
Australia, South Africa.
Yeah. Philip, is how is it to run all these businesses, and what were your like micro habits at the beginning of your career?
The key to run business, many businesses all over the world, is to delegate. You delegate.
I feel you.
Don't micromanage. So I'm not a micromanager. I'm more like, okay, I find a really good guy who's normally a friend that I can trust, and I just let him be. So I don't micromanage him. Like our chief marketing officer, I never tell him what to do. I just check. Hey, you think? I just give him like some suggestions. You think we can do this? And then he'll be like, yeah, let me do it. Leave it up to me. So I'm like, okay, you do it then. So I like the. So I actually manage entrepreneurs inside our entrepreneurship. So inside our organization, it's full of entrepreneurs as well. So they have their own divisions, and they have almost. They can do they have a lot of freedom.
Absolutely. Touching on this as well, you've this obviously delegation comes with the risk of the trust that you've touched on before. Now having your experiences, what's your kind of like lesson, or what would what do you say you should look out for moving forward?
So I mean there are people that are very, very good at what they do. They have the most beautiful CV in the world. But if I don't know them, I'd rather work with someone I know that is not as good as that person, but at least he's willing to learn and we can train him. So I'd rather have that one. So I'm at this point of my life and of the stage of the company, I actually just work with people I know and I trust, rather than random people that are have the best CV, but I don't know them. So because I don't know what their intentions are.
Absolutely.
The art of delegation. One of the thing in which book was it? It was Ray Dalio's book, The Principles, where he talks about and I kind of started implementing from that book. Like for every 1 hour I spend with someone who works with me, I kind of delegate like 50 hours of workload over there, and that gets so much of work done in a given time, right? So that way I have a lot of free time to do NFTs and yet manage all the other stuff. So that's I guess that's 100% true key to success as entrepreneur.
I'm sure Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk is not like micromanaging everyone. He's delegating to all his C-level people.
Right, have to. I mean, there's only so much.
He wouldn't be included that much otherwise.
Yeah.
The essence of time, right? We all have only 24 hours in a day.
Exactly. We have a question from Kilo. As an investor, what tips do you have on asset allocation in the current market conditions?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. I actually don't trade so much. I'm a staker, so I look for good projects where I can stake in, and I just hold it for a long time. So yeah, I look into some of the DAOs. There's some good DAOs with high APYs. There's Ekta, of course. We have very good staking rewards, and then yeah, I look at into the good projects that there's also there was Polkadot when they had those slot auctions as well. So I staked them for 2 years. So I'm more of like I'm not a short term trader or I don't have a short term mentality. So what I do is I'm more of a builder. So I like to see companies grow, and so I try to find the more valuable ones, and then I just stake and leave it there long term, or find companies where I know the founders and I know it has potential, and then I help them out and I invest and stake.
Right.
Stake.
Your mentality seems to be that once you find a project that you like, you try to kind of initiate some rapport and make a partnership, or if possible. Or...
Yeah, or just be part of their DAO. So so that I I can give them some advice, tips, or just raise my hand and say I have an idea. So DAOs are good. So like Geisha Tea House, right? It's a group, it's an organization. So I think a good trend is that, and also NFTs. NFTs are a good investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to find you have to find a good one though. So you have to be also careful which NFTs you invest in.
Yeah, we highly recommend our users always to kind of like do a reverse engineering on the project to see where they stand. Can kind of finds a lot of red flag once you do that. Moving on with by the way, guys, Berwin has in Geisha Tea House, he has the Kijoro speaker in Japanese, which means a whale speaker. And Berwin has that role in our Discord. Berwin, so you're one of the major names in Geisha Tea House. I guess our audience are proud to have you, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Absolutely. Okay, Luke, let's move on to the next question. I guess that is from who's that from?
Yeah, I have a question about Indonesia related.
Yeah.
From Michael. He says, "Hi Berwin, thank you for your time. I would enjoy learning about the overall economic environment in Indonesia and how it looks moving forward, particularly for technology and innovation. I recognize Gojek is having a success there. Do you see other unicorns coming out of Indonesia, and if so, from what industries?
Yeah,
any particular internet? Yeah, take it.
Yeah, Indonesia is really an amazing country to be in right now, especially here in Southeast Asia. It's the biggest economy in Southeast Asia. I think it's the 16th largest economy in the world, the 4th largest population in the world, the biggest democracy in the world. One of a very young workforce. I think
no, I'm listening to something. What's up? That's the point of these. No, I haven't talked to her yet.
What was that?
There we go. I think it's muted now.
Berwin, you're muted at the moment.
Yes. Where did you lose me? So
yeah, you're outlining the importance of Indonesia and the size of it.
Yeah, I mean it's the 4th largest population in the world, the biggest democracy in the world. Very young workforce, 29 years old. Lots of millennials and very big rising middle class. So tech is really like there's Gojek, there's Tokopedia here, there's Shopee, Blibli, Bukalapak. There's lots of like gaming, the big gaming studio here. A lot of tech. It's really big. It's up and coming, and a lot of the younger Indonesians are getting into tech development, game development, and all of that. I think gaming will be huge here. E-commerce, massive because of the rising population, and they're all young. I think it's there's going to be a lot of unicorns coming out from Indonesia. You're going to see that in the coming years. It's a good place to be in also. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to live here, it's such a great place to work because you feel so free. The government is starting to open up and giving you more incentives to start a business here. I mean, like living in Bali, for example. I don't go to the office. We actually have a villa, a few villas that we work in, and it's just so nice. So you don't have to worry about traffic. You sleep in your villa upstairs. You go downstairs. You have a beautiful garden, swimming pool, and you have people to help you around the house, and then you're just more inspired. You're living next to the ocean. I mean, it's a great place to be an entrepreneur. That's for
all
sure.
we all are here for. Like literally all four of us in the
Reflection,
station. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And are there any, from your perspective, what about the risks for people that are looking into, investing in Indonesia or starting a business in Indonesia? Just to kind of finalize the question.
I don't think there's much risk like before. I think 12 years ago when I moved here, it was so difficult to set up a company. You needed a local partner. Nowadays, you can set up a company in my case, I did it in 3 days. They always say 3 weeks, but I don't know why. It was 3 days. The longest was a week. 100% for foreign owned. So you don't have a risk of a local partner screwing you. If you have a trusted local person, great, work with them. But yeah, it's open for business. You can buy property as a foreigner using 100% wholly owned foreign enterprise. You can open almost anything nowadays. I mean, Ekta is an Indonesian company. It's a 100% wholly foreign owned enterprise, and it's great.
That's amazing. Yeah, there's been a lot of these updates have been coming out recently. The government seems to be a lot more friendlier to international.
Yeah. A lot of US companies are moving out of China and coming into Indonesia, to tell you honestly. Not only US and European companies, because it's just more open here. It's less restrictions, and it's still a growing economy. There's a lot of room to grow and big upside for the companies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well.
Yeah, in Indonesia, when I was moving in, like, starting young, and one of the things that I looked for was like, higher population and easily accessible labor count in there. And India was already taken, China was already taken, US obviously impossible to live, and then here we are in Indonesia. So that the math was quite simple for me getting into Indonesia.
Actually, Indonesia is like the US in the 60s or China in early 2000. That's basically, it's just very simple. You cut and you follow that trend. This is what's going to happen to Indonesia the next 10 years. So there's a lot of growth.
Yeah, absolutely. Funny, Akil, for some reason, being one of the founders, still messaging on the chat and asking question. I was just making a joke where you're the founder, just jump in with your question. So, Akil, you want to come up and ask your question?
Let's see. What's going on? I think you guys can see me.
Hey, Wolf.
Hey. What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Last time I saw you was here in our barbecue.
Right. I've been listening in. Yeah, we had a Nikolai. He actually asked a question. He was asking, how did you get the right contacts to basically start up your first company in the US? Like, basically, how did you get in that ecosystem or get that community to,
I had a partner who was a software architect, and then I was living in the Silicon Valley. So I moved to the Silicon Valley. So I was rubbing elbows with all the Silicon Valley elites, and also because I was a national athlete from the Philippines, I had access to the corporate sponsors who were sponsoring me. So I was able to talk to the banks to help me, like, gain their clients and integrate their bank accounts into virtual debit card. So it was I was looking for opportunities. So I was finding the people that were involved in the decision making
Yeah,
for my business.
That's amazing, Berwin. Like you back in the days, that in the early stage of Silicon Valley, you were there. Now, definitely, you have had already a quite a successful partnership. You started young, talking with the banks, all of that. What's your key, how do I say, negotiating, talking skill that you have that, kind of gets you into the room and out with a deal?
Oh, I just tell them that they're gonna earn a lot of money if you follow me. That was a joke. That was a joke. No, I normally just say, like I present a problem.
Yeah.
And a real problem. And then I just show them what is my solution. And normally I try to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And then I'm persistent, so I keep
Yeah.
telling them about it again and again and again.
I'm talking about making a lot of money with you. One of so this is the monthly tea house event that we are doing. We do another thing called weekly educational Geisha Tea House events, right? We go through we kind of do educational contents about like trading, investing, all of that. And one of the part I talk about was intuition, right? And when I first met you, we talked briefly about Ekta, but it was more the intuition that I kind of jumped in. Next thing I know, in next 10 days, my investment has like 10x or 20x at that point. I was like, okay, this might makes a lot of money. It's like, yeah, so that definitely is true. As as you say, it was as a joke, but that's very true.
I have one more question for you, Berwin. From the community. What is Ekta backed by?
We are backed by assets, actually, and backed by a passion and skill and talent, but backed by about 60 years of business experience within the team. But mainly, Ekta started because we have a lot of properties all over the world and in Indonesia, and our first business model was to fractionalize property. And so most of our projects are backed by assets and property, but mainly property. But our treasury also right now is backed by USDT and Ethereum and of course Ekta. The Ekta token is now listed, but mainly property. We have over $100 million worth of property. Yeah,
that's nice feature.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100 million doesn't hurt anyone. Absolutely. Guys, let's move. Let's finish up some questions from the audience that we have collected, since we are running out of time. And we got to take some questions. So Luke, you want to continue over with your questions that you have collected?
Yeah, we're kind of running in circles with those. I would just like point out 3, and then I guess we could wrap it.
Just before that, Luke, just a minute, guys. Please start raising your hand if you have any questions, and we will let you in individually that way. And so please, if you have questions, just raise it. Yeah, okay.
It's under reaction. So if you go to reaction, you'll.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's start. We will let you guys in after we finish up with the questions.
Perfect. So we have question from Victoria or little thing. I love core principles of Ekta. I believe it's the only way forward for mankind. Building any business with these kinds of principles must have had its issues, as the world is so focused on money as the bottom line. So the first question is, how did you manage to keep your stick to your principles?
Yeah, we need to stick to our principles, and I'm sticking to our principles because it's very important not to bend the rules, especially with something important as the environment, which is actually we're getting to a point where it's going to become very serious. Sea levels are rising, pollution is at the highest, carbon levels are almost unsustainable, and we actually had it's really, you have to be really strict about it. So, when we started Ekta during our seed round funding, we had some investors that wanted to fund us, but they wanted us to invest in asset-backed gold, mining, tokenizing mining. I said no to them, even though the investment was big, because mining is bad for the environment. And what he showed me, actually, what he cut off about 4,000 hectares of land just for his mines, like that actually angered me. Also, like we since ACTA is about improving people's lives, I was tempted by a few investors to go into online gambling. I said no to that, even though the money was big, because gambling doesn't really improve people's lives. It actually ruins people's lives. So I just have to stick to those principles. And I just, sometimes I just have to say no to big amounts of investments because it's just not right. So
are these principles coming from a personal belief in religion, or where do these?
It's just the vision of the company, our personal belief. We want to do profit with a purpose, doing good business while doing good, and we need to stick to that, because if we don't, then what's the point of our mission vision? And what's the point of ACTA? I might as well go into online gambling and porno, right? I mean,
that sounds good. But yeah, I mean, Berwin, that's so true. I've actually said that in our internal VC about do good while doing good, because we get asked a lot of questions like, what kind of because in our incubator in Geisha Tea House, what kind of businesses that you will be investing in, like us as Geisha Tea House. And I always tell them, it's always will be for profit, but in the end of the day, you have to make a difference and add value. Exactly what you said, do good while doing good. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then the final question for this was how will you maintain the core principles as the rapid growth of your company increases? What's your how do you plan to stick to those?
So that's why one of our values in our company is to make sure we we work with people we know and not just random people, because we want to, or if we do interview people, we have to be very careful, and we not only look at their skill set and their CV, but also meet them as a person, feel them as a person. We need to work with people that we care. So we need to also manage our growth. We can't expand too rapidly, because I believe if you do that, that's also a recipe for disaster. So we're moving fast, but not too fast. We always have to step back and reflect and make sure that we're managing the growth properly and hiring the right people, because one bad egg can cause major damage. So it's really important for us to work with people we know and people that care.
Do you have any specific kind of, not SOPs, but some sort of exercises that you do to say, okay, let's take a step back, everybody, and
yeah, we do we do a lot of we do meetups. We do events and meetups like once every 3 weeks. I also make sure that the team comes to Bali, even though they're all over the world. Or if they don't come to Bali, we meet up in Dubai. We're gonna do a meetup in Brazil next year. No, this year. Sorry, next month, end of next month. So all our team members are meeting up there. So it's important to also breathe a bit and enjoy the nature and look around. Also, we need to see what opportunities are out there. We can't just sit in the office all day. We need to travel. So it's really important for all of us to meet up and travel and have some fun.
I think you'll have a lot of job applicants after this interview.
right. Absolutely. That's what and Kilo is saying. Dubai represent. That's amazing. Luke, I have some questions over there. A little bit on the ACTA. Is ACTA NFT marketplace going to be a competitor to OpenSea?
Yeah, so ACTA NFT marketplace, the only difference with OpenSea and ACTA is on our own mainnet. We're using the ACTA currency. Instead of Ethereum, we're using ACTA. Instead of their platform, we're using our own platform. So we will have our own marketplace on top of the ACTA mainnet. And in the marketplace, you will have the usual like collectibles, music, fractionals, everything that you see in OpenSea. But our only difference is we're mainly focused on bridging physical world to the blockchain. So there's a lot of real world use applications in our NFTs, and of course it's cheaper to mint using ACTA.
Gas fees, gas fees.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, our marketplace will be ready third week of February.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we'll announce that.
I just heard ka-ching.
Yeah, you can mint your NFTs on our marketplace.
Sounds good. Sounds good. If we are doing our partnership, like which we are doing, that's gonna be Berwin. I hope this partnership grows, and Geisha Tea House, Ekta. Let's try to incorporate some benefits for both the people, mix it together, and let's see however we can work together. That's something we definitely have to talk and in personal and work our way in growing with the people of blockchain, right? Absolutely. So we have one more question, which is interesting. Icy Girl, Aranova, I guess Berwin has answered most of your other question in terms of your Ekta. It's one question that has been answered is, how do you feel about material possession?
Material possession, for me, it's only a thing. That's why I can handle losses, and I'm quite good with adversity, because for me, a material thing is just a thing. That's why I don't really value it so much. For me, what's valuable is the impact on things and on people's lives. So that's why I still drive the same car for 9 years. I think I just have, like, I don't know, 2 suitcase of clothes. I don't really have much. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a thing. When you die, what are you going to do with it?
No, 100%.
With you.
100%. Absolutely. It does give, having certain amount of wealth, it does give you certain comfort, flying, for instance, business class instead of, economic class and all of that. Like, it does make a difference, but in the end of the day, you still get from A to B, and with or without it.
Yeah. So, as long as you're comfortable, it's great. What after that, it's just extra stuff, right? Like I said, it's choices.
Yeah, and absolutely, and there's nothing. I believe personally, there's nothing wrong with wanting material stuff in life.
Yeah.
If you and for me personally, what has happened in my life is, okay, for me, there's a motivation that, okay, I want to buy this thing or this material, and I kind of leads me to that level of wealth to get something. At that point, I decide not to do it. Just it can be a motivation, but once you get there, you can decide if you want it or not.
But if you want to do it by all means. Splurge.
Absolutely.
It's your money, right? But in the end of the day, after you accumulate all of that, what are you going to do with it? It's just so many things. It's
right.
It's just a thing.
Absolutely. Lucas, do we have more questions left? There's a question from Rhea. Okay, there's a question from Rhea. Knowing what you know now, is there anything you would have done differently when you were first starting out? So this goes back to your 20s, and now a few decades later. What would you have done differently?
95% of everything I've done, I probably wouldn't want to change. Probably, I wish I didn't waste as much things as I did. I spent it on many useless things, and looking back at it, I could have used it for, probably helping someone else, or donating it to charity and stuff like that. Yeah, but I don't really have any regrets. I'm quite happy with all of my choices, even though they were bad choices. Not so much. Just never regret.
I'm sure you didn't regret buying the Ferrari when you did.
Yeah, that was that was stupid, actually. that was really? The first and last stupid thing I've done.
Well, but there must be a part of you that was kind of cars and.
It was watches. My dream, though. It was my
Absolutely.
dream, right? As a boy, a boy from a poor country, achieving it all of a sudden overnight, like, whoa, I can do whatever I want. I can, do this and do that. And then once you done it, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not that great.
Yeah, actually, an SUV is much more comfortable than a Ferrari.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Absolutely. Now, it can be a great motivation.
But if you have a dream, go for it, do it, and then once you get there, and if you're not happy, then change it.
Absolutely.
Do it again.
No regrets. Yeah, do it again, right? Like that's
do something else.
Why so serious, right? About all this stuff in a way. Focus on your goal, I guess, and what's what's true to you. That's as Kilo said over here. I guess we covered most of the questions now. Luke, is that right? Luke, your voice is muted.
Second. Yeah, it says we have a question from Ria Star.
Rhea. No, that's already done. That's already done.
Fine. All right.
Actually, Ria Star is my daughter's name, and that's my partner asking you question, Berwin, about that earlier. So yeah, that's just we did answer that. We have a question from I Met Raya. Raya, she's one of our aspiring developers in our community. She joined in quite early during the start of Geisha Tea House. And how did you start investing in crypto? Obviously, your entry to crypto when you had it. And then what brought you what made you decided to bridge physical world to the blockchain? I think you kind of answered that, but just how did you start in crypto?
I started literally in crypto because I started learning about blockchain, and I've only started investing in crypto during the pandemic because I wanted to learn more about crypto, and the easiest way to learn is to investing a little bit and then learning about the company I'm investing in. I grew up as my family. My mother was a stockbroker, so she taught me a lot about looking at charts, learning about Japanese candlesticks, looking at the moving average, convergence, divergence, the Bollinger Bands, the RSIs, all of that. So that I knew already by since I was a young boy. So that was quite easy for me to trade cryptocurrency. But what was interesting was to study each coin, and understanding the project behind it. So that's what made me invest in crypto, learning about the projects.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And that was just very recent, just a year ago, to tell you honestly. I'm a newbie.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're new to trading, the Geisha Tea House got you covered on that.
I should phone you, Rigo. You're more skilled than I am on that.
That's my night job. By the day I'm a businessman, by night I'm a trader. So I have two jobs depending on what time of the day.
And a chocolatier.
Right? The Willy Wonka. Oh, that sounded so French. Okay. Looking at your website, I'd love to focus on the importance of we covered on Ekta. We covered on how NFT is linked to the properties. How does that work? Okay, this one. How does decentralized lending and loaning work?
Yeah, so that's really interesting. I learned about that while I was trading as well. I learned about Aave and all the DeFi protocols. One thing beautiful about decentralized lending is you put your crypto, you collateralize it, or you provide liquidity in the farm, liquidity pool, and then you can lend to each other. What I'm trying to do is take it to the next level. Instead of lending within the crypto space on chain, I want to lend off chain as well. So I'm partnering with some fintech companies that can lend off chain so that it can actually help real people in the real world, like someone that wants to open a small coffee shop, a small business, or an employee that needs an advance in their salary for a little payday loan. So I think DeFi and taking it from on-chain to off-chain is quite important. So that's why we're developing a hybrid exchange. So it's not a DEX, it's a hybrid exchange because we can take it on-chain, off-chain.
That's great. Isn't that dangerous? Like when you are taking it off-chain, kind of that defeats the purpose and it's more risky for you.
Yeah. So risk in terms of security.
In terms of security.
Attack. Yeah. So that's why we're still developing it. So we're studying it very well. We're still working on the architecture. We haven't gone into development yet. It's very important. That's very important.
Right, absolutely. So where does Ekta stand right now in terms of your roadmap that you got laid out for the coming days?
Yeah.
Where does it stand today?
Yeah, today, mainnet in 5
Okay.
days. Relisting, mainnet, bridge, and scanner.
Okay.
In 5 days. And then we have the NFT.
Okay.
Have NFT, which is the Humble Alpha Veterans Empowerment NFT, and our marketplace in second or third week of February, more like third week of February. And then while that's happening, we're already developing our meta trees, our tree NFTs. We're also doing the architecture for our hybrid exchange and our wallet.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and also we have some partners building on our mainnet, like the lottery.
Oh, okay, that's amazing.
And
that's
fractional property.
That's what I'm really keen on. Like, that sounds amazing. Berwin, thank you so much. I think we have taken all of the questions. Raya, we have. If you go listen to the whole recording later on, you'll find your answers within, read between the lines, and you'll find your answers about the rest of your questions. Now we will start taking questions from the audience. So guys, we have one raised hand. If you guys want to raise hand, just say hello and show some love and appreciation. That's also welcome. No, it doesn't have to be a question. And I'm going to call in Breeze. Please open up your mic and ask to unmute. I've asked you to unmute, so you can come ahead and talk.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for letting me take this space. I just wanted to ask a quick question. When you first started gaining investors and garnering basically your support system for Ekta, like I'm talking about like ground zero, did you use your influence politically to get those investors on your side, or what was your strategy just to make people believe?
Yeah, so I basically had our mission vision and our what we want to do in our roadmap. So I approached family and friends, people that I knew that believed in our vision and our business plan. So that's the investors that I tapped.
Thank you.
Sweet.
And congratulations with everything you've done. It's incredible.
Thank you, Breeze.
Absolutely. Okay, we got Kilo now. Kilo, I was teasing him yesterday. He's one of our early supporters. Great man from Dubai. I was teasing him, you better raise your hand tomorrow, and he did. So here is Kilo coming in. Kilo, you're up next.
Hello.
Hi, Kilo.
Hi, Kilo.
I don't so much have a question. I just wanted to speak with you directly, and thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. It was pretty useful and very helpful, and I just wanted to say that I really admire and respect that you take your business in ways that can help the environment and help the people, rather than just trying to make a quick buck like some people say it. So this is something that I really admire, and thank you so much for that.
Thanks. That was really nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kilo.
No problem, anytime. And Riga,
yes,
please
sir.
share with us some details about how we can invest or buy the NFT from Ekta, because this is something definitely I would be interested in, and I would love to support.
I'll shoot in all the link when I do the recording. Berwin, you want to just quickly explain people how can they buy Ekta and basically get a piece of it?
Yeah, so if you go to ekta.io, ekta.io, basically all the information is there on how to buy. So you just have to click on the link. So basically there's a contract address of Ekta under BSC network, and you just click the link and it leads you to SushiSwap. So you'll need Binance Smart Chain in your MetaMask, and you need some USDT, BEP20 USDT, and some BNBs for gas fees, and then you can just swap your USDT for Ekta V2 in SushiSwap.
All right, sounds good. I'm sure Riga will help me with that, because
absolutely,
I'm kind of new with all this stuff.
Absolutely. Kilo, what do you think? Was this valuable enough? Is Geisha Tea House worth it? Was this first event worth your time? You woke up at 4:30. I know
Miguel,
that.
you ain't gonna ask me that, man. You know my answer. Obviously, it was worth it, and I truly believe in that. I believe in you guys, and just the fact that you brought someone in right before the bin, just to show everybody, basically, if they're not a believer, to convert them to being a believer. That's a very smart move, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And who better than Berwin himself, the man himself that I admire and respect so much. Berwin, thank you so much.
Thanks.
For absolutely. And okay, Berwin, I think we have now, there's no more raised hand. So I guess I assume people have kind of gotten the wrap of it. I heard the answer for the most of them. I wrote the message to Lucas. I was worried that you didn't see my message on Discord. Okay, all right. Actually, sorry. I was just reading the question. What we do, in the end, how we end usually our events, we will be ending in the future, is also that one. What makes Berwin Berwin? What is your superpower, and what makes you that one thing that you want to say to someone that's just starting out?
My superpower is being positive. So I'm a very positive person, and I always look at the glass half full. So, and my advice to entrepreneurs is be very observant of your surroundings and look for opportunities, and always try to solve problems. So if you want to be a millionaire, you solve problems for 1 million people. If you want to be a billionaire, you solve problems for 1 billion people. And if you do that, if you just stick to that, I think that's a good formula. And if you fail the first time, just do it again. Just get up and do it again. If the door shuts in front of you, just open the other door. There's always opportunities out there. So never quit.
Love it. Thank you so much, Berwin. That was amazing. Talking about billionaire, did I get it wrong? Your property is property collections overall, not with the Ekta, is valued at $1 billion?
100 million.
100 million. Okay,
our portfolio.
Sorry. I got confused with some. Okay, perfect. Berwin, thank you so much for making time. I'm sure people found a lot of value. To Geisha Tea House family and people out there, you heard about Berwin from the man himself. We talked about, his journey, his mindset, his philosophy, and also about Ekta. So this is something you guys are looking into investing. I'm invested into it, just a full disclosure. And I trust the man. And definitely he's a great man to follow for sure. And apart from that, if you are coming from Ekta, guys, this is what we do at Geisha Tea House NFT. We have, many utilities. One of the utility is we connect you with people like Berwin who are successful, established, and have a lot to share. And you get to interact, basically, like you see people can raise their hand and talk to them. We'll be calling in many more guests, right? Second one is more likely to going to be Kevin O'Leary, as I said, from Shark Tank.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And or if not, Luke, I think Akil also has another special man who was Gary V's partner. We haven't confirmed that. All the confirmation will be out there. So there's great value in both the side. Just making sure you talk about good investment and early startups. I think these both are a great place for you to park your money and watch it grow for sure. Else, we have one more raised hand from Drake, Champagne Puppy. Drake, please.
I like that name, Champagne Puppy.
Absolutely.
Great name.
Hello.
Hey man, how are you guys doing?
Doing great. How are you doing? Great.
Hi.
Good. Honestly, I just wanted to stop by, like always, say hello to everyone. Hello to you guys, and thank you so much for taking the time, and like Kilo said, taking the time and just appreciating how much you spoken and how your come up was, your inspirations and all of that type of things. And it just motivates people like me, you get me? And I just want to basically thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Glad it was of value. Love it. Anyways, guys, let's wrap this show. I'm already 15 minutes more than what I asked Berwin for. So, let's wrap this up. I hope you guys like it. Do give us your feedback, how it was. anywhere. You can do it in Ekta's platform, or you can do it in our platform, right? However you want to do it, just do give us a feedback, honest one. If there was something wrong, if we did something wrong, do let us know. We want to work on it. And obviously, thank you, Berwin. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, team.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Berwin.
Have a good day, everyone.
All right.
Have a good day.
I'll call you after this. All right.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Peace.
Okay. Great.
See everybody in general chat. Thank you. That was amazing.
That was good.
Thank you. That was
Sweet.
amazing.
Thank you so
Amazing.
much, guys. Thank you. Oh wow, we got a late people joining in, I guess. All right, guys. Anything just before we end? Anything question for us? Meanwhile, just wrap it up. If not, just come by, speak up like we do in our general VC. Okay, I think if not, we'll just follow up in our general VCs and in the chat. All right, guys. Luke, Akil, thank you for making it. This was great. Kudos to us. We made it happen. And here we are. We did it.
Zoom figured it out.
What is it?
Zoom. You figured out Zoom.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. It was interesting how to figure the Zoom out. Anyways, guys, just to let you know, Luke or Akil, I'll need kind of your help to structure probably the first introduction part of the Geisha, the meeting. I did completely miss to record it. Like it's like 2 to 3 minutes. We will just type it out and record it and upload it in our YouTube.